Have you ever tried to simply turn up the volume on your favorite song while driving, only to find yourself aggressively tapping a flat sheet of glass like a frustrated woodpecker because the manufacturer decided physical knobs were too old school? Welcome to the polarizing world of Honda CR-V dash and infotainment technology. Let us take a deep dive into what you are actually looking at and touching every single day from the driver's seat, because the tech interface can absolutely make or break your daily commute. If we look at the 5th generation models from 2017 and 2018, Honda made the infamous decision to completely remove the physical volume knob, replacing it with a touch-sensitive slider on the left side of the 7-inch screen. It was universally hated. It required taking your eyes off the road for far too long, and if you had cold hands or were wearing winter gloves, you were completely out of luck. Thankfully, Honda listened to the massive outcry from owners and automotive journalists alike, bringing back a physical volume knob for the 2019 refresh, proving that sometimes traditional tactile feedback is completely undefeated. But beyond the volume knob saga, the overall native software interface on older CR-Vs can feel a bit like operating a cheap aftermarket tablet. The boot-up time when you start the car can be agonizingly slow, leaving you waiting several seconds before you can even accept the initial safety warning screen, let alone input a navigation address or change the audio source. The native graphics look a bit dated with somewhat pixelated fonts and a color palette that screams 2010. However, there is a massive saving grace to all of this, and that is the inclusion of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Once you plug your smartphone into the 1.5 amp or 2.5 amp USB ports located down in the center console, the native Honda interface essentially disappears, taking a back seat to the far superior smartphone mirroring system. Running your navigation through Google Maps or Waze and streaming your podcasts directly from your phone transforms the entire experience from frustrating to highly functional and modern. Just be aware that on the vast majority of used models, this connection requires a physical wire, as wireless integration did not become standard until the completely redesigned 6th generation models. Moving away from the center stack and looking directly behind the steering wheel, the gauge cluster presents a very interesting and practical mix of digital and analog elements. You get a central digital display screen flanked by physical sweeping gauges for the engine coolant temperature and the fuel level. The digital tachometer sweeps across the top of the center screen in a linear fashion, which takes a little getting used to if you are accustomed to traditional round dials. But it is crisp, clear, and easy to read at a quick glance. You can easily customize the center of this display using the steering wheel controls to show your active audio information, a large digital speedometer, upcoming maintenance reminders, or the all-wheel drive torque distribution, which is a fun little graphic that shows you exactly how much power is being sent to the rear wheels in real time as you accelerate. Another crucial part of the dash technology is the Honda Sensing Safety Suite, which integrates directly into that main gauge cluster. When you have the adaptive cruise control and the lane keeping assist systems engaged, the screen displays a little graphic of your car and the vehicle directly ahead of you. While the system works decently well on straight open highways, it can be a bit overly sensitive in heavy stop-and-go traffic, occasionally phantom braking if a car in the next lane gets a little too close to the painted dividing line. The physical buttons to turn these safety features on and off are clustered down to the lower left of the steering wheel, making them very easy to find by touch without taking your eyes off the road once you build up the muscle memory. Ultimately, the dashboard and infotainment setup in a used CR-V is heavily reliant on the processing power of your smartphone. The factory screens and menus are slow and visually uninspiring out of the box, but if you treat the dashboard screen simply as a monitor for your phone via a good quality wired connection, it becomes a perfectly ergonomic and completely acceptable command center for all your daily driving needs.